To start off this final part, I think it's time to use this shiny stone I have for no reason. Known as the Bouquet Pokemon, Roserade is a grass poison type from the 4th generation that can wall strong opponents in competitive play, and has great special attack to back that up. I also like its abilities because it either helps its special attack stat, helps its role as a wall, or it fits the poison typing. Technician increases the power of moves that have a base power of 60 or less by 1.5, Natural Cure removes the Pokemon's status when switched out, and Poison Point has a 30% chance of poisoning your opponent if your Pokemon gets hit by a physical attack, though some special moves can also activate this ability. But considering that Poison Point mainly applies to physical moves, you'd think that Roserade has good physical defense to back it up, right? Well, not quite. It has decent physical defense, but saying that it's great is a stretch. To be fair though, it does have a great move pool, and if used in the right tier, Roserade could be a big threat. But aside from competitive play, another reason I like Roserade is its design. Based on a combination of a bouquet of roses and a masquerade dancer, Roserade certainly looks the part with that mask. I also like its appearance in the anime. Drew's Roserade was a threat to May in contest battles, Nando's Roserade was good in contests as well, and I really like the one in Oh Do You Know the Puffin Plan, where a shy/timid Roserade develops its confidence and kicks Team Rocket's ass. This episode made me like Roserade. It was badass, it had a personality that I can relate to myself, and watching it kick Team Rocket's ass put a smile to my face. After seeing this episode, I thought to myself, I want a Roserade, and now I have one! I wasn't a big fan of the Dragon type back in the first 2 generations. Not only was it hard to find one, but it took forever to evolve. On top of that, I have horrible memories of my first fight with Lance in Pokemon Silver. I got shredded by his Dragonites. So after beating him, I vowed to never get a Dragon type again because I didn't want to remember that first fight by having one in my team. Then Ruby came out, and not only did I get my first Dragon type, but I also found my favorite Dragon type. Much like how Gen 5 made me like ghost types, Gen 3 did the same for dragons with the Flygon line. First off, I love the design they gave this guy. Based on the final stage of an antlion, Flygon certainly fits the description with the dragonfly-like wings, the short arms and legs, and the long tail at the end. Plus, I also like the red jewels around its eyes as it helps Flygon see during sandstorms. Looks really cool. In competitive play, Flygon is a physical sweeper. With a 100 base speed, 100 base physical attack stat, and a great move pool, Flygon was a menace in the 3rd generation. I also like its typing of Dragon and Ground because although it has 3 weaknesses, it has 3 resistances and 2 immunities. I absolutely loved using Flygon when I played through Gen 3. It ripped through my opponents like paper, and it played a part in defeating the champion. When I first got Trapinch, I thought it was pretty cool. When it evolved into Vibrava, I was surprised that it turned into a Dragon type, and I was debating whether or not to keep it in my party. But when it evolved into Flygon and started kicking ass, my jaw dropped. Instead of reliving those memories, it was replaced with joy. This may be cheesy, but Flygon made me appreciate the Dragon type, and I will always remember this Pokemon for that. Whenever I see a new Dragon type coming out, it makes me excited to use them, and it's thanks to Flygon for that. Sure, it's not the best stat-wise, and it does have its issues, but for everything that's good and bad about this Pokemon, I will still always like Flygon no matter what. At number 8 is my favorite normal-type Pokemon. Furret, also known as the long body Pokemon, can use its long and skinny body to make a nest that becomes more maze-like the deeper it goes. The first reason I like Furret is because of its design. Based on a ferret, yeah, real original name there, Furret is so cute! With its cute little arms, those big eyes, I just love it! Duh.
Which is why you didn't put it on your cutest Pokemon list.
Hey, that list was a collab between me and Susan. That, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
Moving on. In competitive play, Furret is a decent sweeper with its 90 base speed and 76 base attack stat. Yeah, much like Pidgeot, I don't like Furret in competitive play. I honestly think it could be improved. I'm also not a fan of its abilities, with the exception of Frisk, but that's only because it helps me in finding Chanseys that hold the Lucky Egg. But like Pidgeot, another reason I like Furret is because of the one I used in Gen 2, specifically the remake. In Soulsilver, Furret was one of the most valuable members of my team. With its diverse moveset, Furret took down gym leaders, Elite Four, Champion, and even Red. It was that great to use in the main game, and even metagame, since I remember how great Furret was to use in the Kanto region. Sure, it may not have great stats to back it up, but in terms of the main game, Furret was really great to use for a Pokemon that's considered an HM slave. But it makes me wonder something. How tall is Furret? Probably something like 2 feet or maybe 3. It's just as tall as Aerodactyl? Huh. Okay, I'm just gonna move on before I question this any further. In the Frostlass segment, I stated that Frostlass was my favorite Ghost-type Pokemon. But as some of you know, Frostlass is an Ice/Ghost type. Since I didn't say Frostlass was my favorite Ice type, what is? Was there any doubt? Lapras, also known as the transport Pokemon, ferries people across the sea on its back with no complaints. This is mainly because Lapras loves to give people rides due to its gentle heart. That's really sweet. However, their sweet heart has resulted in them being hunted to near extinction. Damn poachers. Anyways, one of the reasons I like Lapras is because of its design. Based on a combination of the Plesiosauria, Plactodonts, and whales, Lapras looks really cool. Though there was that phase where Lapras grew teeth and auditioned for Shark Week, but it quickly passed. I think they made a movie about tornadoes after that audition. A movie about sharks and tornadoes. Nah, that'd be stupid. I also like its typing of water and ice. With this typing, it's resistant to both water and ice, plus it has a really good and diverse move pool. Stat-wise, Lapras is pretty even with the exception of speed and HP, making it a pretty good supporter/wall in competitive play. I also like its abilities Hydration and Water Absorb. Water Absorb heals the Pokemon when it's hit by a Water-type move, and Hydration cures the Pokemon of a non-volatile status condition in the rain. Shell Armor is pretty good too, but I just like Hydration and Water Absorb better. Sure, its typing does give Lapras 4 weaknesses, but I still like it. Okay, now into the manga/anime. Let's open this can of worms quickly. Spoiler warning for Pokemon Adventures. In the Crystal Saga, Pryce lost 2 of his favorite Laprases, Lapras and Lapras, in an avalanche, just as their egg was about to hatch. Because of this, Pryce swore to save them and began researching time travel. Near the end of the saga, the baby Lapras named Laglace was able to enter the time in which the Laprases were separated and had a happy reunion. And people say that Pokemon Adventures isn't dark. As for Pryce using the death of his Lapras as a reason to become a villain, I've heard dumber reasons. As for Ash's Lapras, it was one of my favorite Pokemon Ash ever had on his team. When Ash first met Lapras on Tangelo Island, Lapras was being abused by 3 boys. After trying and failing to heal Lapras, it was revealed that Lapras was afraid of humans. Later on, Ash gained Lapras' trust after saving it from Team Rocket, and it joined Ash's team. For the most part, Lapras served as transportation, but when Lapras fought, it was really good. Some examples include the race against Sissy's Blastoise and the battle against Drake's Gengar. Seriously, that beam struggle. After the Orange League ended, Ash released Lapras. However, this one I don't mind because it makes sense. Lapras was separated from its family before Ash got Lapras, and now that Lapras was reunited with its family in a school of Lapras, Ash didn't want to ruin it by keeping Lapras in his team, so he released Lapras. It was sad to see Lapras go, but we did see Lapras come back in the Johto saga grown up, which was really great. Too bad after that, we never saw Lapras ever again. Next number, please. Based off of rhinos, gorillas, rabbits, and porcupines, Nidoqueen drills her way onto this list. To start this entry, let's talk about her design. Design-wise, Nidoqueen looks like it's ready for battle, though there's something off. Something that doesn't seem natural. Her horn short, that's it. I also like her typing of Poison and Ground, which gives Nidoqueen an immunity to electricity, 5 resistances, and is now super effective against the Fairy type. Stat-wise, Nidoqueen is pretty balanced, which makes it a pretty decent supporter in the UU tier. Plus, it does have a pretty good move pool to boot. As for the anime, Gary had a Nidoqueen and it kicked ass at the Silver Conference, and this is what made me want to get a Nidoqueen. And since I suck at segues, how about I talk about the Nidoqueen I used from Pokemon Soul Silver? When I played through the Johto region, Nidoqueen was really great to use. With its great move pool and stats, it was one of the strongest Pokemon on my Johto team. With moves like Fire Blast, Thunder, Ice Beam, and Earthquake, she was able to take down half of the Elite Four on her own, and even sweep Lance! Though since its Pokemon are powered flying, that might explain why. Hell, Nidoqueen was one of the only Pokemon I had that had a 77-win lead in the Battle Hall. Sure, it's not much, but it's something. And now that I've transferred Nidoqueen to Gen 6, I can't wait to use this Pokemon when the Hoenn remakes come out. So what is my favorite Johto Pokemon? Well, let's put on a heat protective suit and find out. Although Feraligatr was my first starter, and Meganium was the first one I chose in the remakes, Typhlosion is the only one of the 3 starters that I remember the most. Does it make the other 2 bad? Hell no, but to me, Typhlosion is just better. First off, its design. Based off of Honey Badger's, Typhlosion looks badass with that stance, its flames erupting from its back, and that roar! In fact, if it rubs its blazing fur together, it can create huge explosions! You think an explosion in a Michael Bay movie is bad? An explosion from Typhlosion would make Michael Bay fade. It's awesome! Moving on to battle properties, Typhlosion is a special sweeper with a 100 base speed stat and 109 base special attack stat. Sure, it may have the same base stat total as Charizard, but at least its typing doesn't make it lose 50% of its health because of Stealth Rock. Instead, it has 3 weaknesses to Rock, Water, and Ground, but it does get 6 resistances, which is a plus. Another plus is its moveset. Considering that Typhlosion is a special sweeper, its moveset supports it very well, with a lot of special/status moves that can be learned through either leveling up, TM/HMs, breeding, or tutoring. When I used Typhlosion in my run of Johto, it was one of the best Pokemon on my team. Because of its moveset and stats, it took down a lot of difficult opponents like Price, Blue, Red, and even the cow who shall not be named. Sure, it was difficult against Claire, but for the most part, Typhlosion kicked ass. Another plus for Typhlosion is its Dream World ability Flash Fire, which strengthens its Fire-type attacks when hit by a Fire-type move. As for Blaze, no, just no. In the anime/manga, Ash got a Cyndaquil that eventually evolved into a Kolava, Jimmy had one and it was pretty funny, and Gold had a Typhlosion in the manga which was also used as a method of fast travel. Okay then. Overall, I love Typhlosion. It was great to use, has a great design, I like its appearances in the anime/manga, and was a great fire type to use in my run through Johto. But, it's only my second favorite starter from Gens 1 through 5. So what is my favorite starter? You'll see soon enough. If you told me to list a Pokemon that was just as popular as Pikachu, I would list Eevee. It has a great design, it was your rival's main Pokemon in Yellow version, and it has many different forms of evolution, making it very unique. When Gen 2 came around, the term Eeveelutions was coined due to how many ways you could evolve your Eevee. So what is my favorite? Well, here's my abridged top 8 Eeveelutions. Number 8, Vaporeon. Number 7, Flareon. Number 6, Glaceon. Number 5, Sylveon. Number 4, Umbreon. Number 3, Espeon. Number 2, Leafeon. And number 1... Jolteon. Hell yeah! Although Luxray is my favorite electric-type Pokemon, Jolteon's tied with Ampharos for my second favorite electric type. The first reason is its design. Not only does Jolteon look badass with those spikes, but it also looks really adorable with that smile and those big puppy dog eyes. I just love it. In battle, Jolteon's a special sweeper, but unlike Typhlosion, it has better speed, special defense, and special attack, at the cost of its HP and physical stats. I also like its move pool because it helps Jolteon's role as a special sweeper very well with moves like Thunderbolt, Baton Pass, Agility, Signal Beam, etc. When I used this in competitive play, Jolteon was a beast with its fast speed, great baton passing, and it hit like a tank. I also really like its ability Volt Absorb, which restores HP when hit by an electric type attack. Its other ability Quick Feet is good too, because if Jolteon gets hit by a status condition, its already high speed increases. But that's really all I can say about Jolteon. It's great to use in battle, I like its design, and I like its typing. He didn't really have that much appearances in the anime/manga, so let's move on. With only 3 entries remaining, all that's left on this list are Hoenn and Sinnoh Pokemon. I also said back in the Typhlosion entry that I would be talking about my favorite starter later on this list. Where am I going with this? Well, my favorite starter and my favorite Hoenn Pokemon is... Man, I love that track. Yes, folks, I love Swampert. Its great design, its use in battle, its typing, the abilities it has, I just love it! Based off either a Mud Puppy, an Axolotl, or a Mud Skipper, I just love Swampert's design. Those eyes, that look on his face that comes off as one who's looking to have some fun with their fight, I just love it! I also really like its typing of water and ground. Sure, other Pokemon have done this typing before, but in the 3rd generation, Swampert saved my ass during those tough moments. Speaking of, although Blaziken was my first starter in Pokemon Ruby, Swampert was the starter I loved to use the most. With its typing of water and ground, it plowed through most of the gym leaders with no difficulty, and was a key factor in defeating the Elite Four. Swampert is also one of the only Pokemon I had that kicked ass in the Pokemon contest, taking almost every ribbon in the 6 categories, with the exception of Smart and Cute. I still have to get the Hyper/Master ribbons for those categories. But before I whine like a little bitch, although I don't like the Pokemon contests in the games, I will always remember winning those contests with Swampert, and having a portrait of him put in the Lily Cove Museum as a reminder of his victories. Moving on to battle properties, Swampert has the highest base stat total of all fully evolved starter Pokemon, with a base stat total of 535. That's pretty cool. As for the stats themselves, Swampert is a physical attacker with a 110 base physical attack stat and 100 base HP stat. In fact, Swampert is so strong, it can drag a boulder weighing more than a ton with ease. The rest of its stats are pretty balanced with the exception of speed, but it's not horrible. I also like its hidden ability Damp, which prevents the Pokemon from self-destructing. Sure, I may not like Torn because it could easily be replaced with items like Mystic Water or even Life Orb, and the boost you get isn't that great. But I guess if they ever gave Swampert a Mega Evolution, then I guess it wouldn't be too bad. But that could never happen. Who would have guessed Pokemon had steroids? Oh, it also won't! Why do I keep going off topic? Screw it, it's time to finish this entry. Overall, I love Swampert. It had a great design, good abilities, and was great to use in the Hoenn region. But although I like Swampert, there is one question. Do I like Mudkips? Yes, when it's served with shrimp. I freaking love this Pokemon. As always, I will start with the design. Based off Gladiators, I freaking love Gallade's design. That stance, those eyes, it's great! I also like Gallade's personality. Gallade is a Pokemon that can take down opponents with his mastery of swordsmanship, and is also shown defending weaker Pokemon, showcasing Gallade's courtesy. In other words, Gallade is a gentleman who's willing to risk his life to protect the weak and helpless. That's really great. Speaking of swordsmanship, Gallade can extend his elbow blades like friggin' Wolverine, that's badass. I also like the evolution method to get a Gallade. Instead of evolving through leveling up, or doing the bullshit item trade, the way to get Gallade is by giving a male Curlia a Dawnstone. But at least now that we got a male form of Gardevoir, Gardevoir can be female only, right? Why? Just why? Screw it, battle properties. Gallade has the same base stat total as Gardevoir, but whereas Gardevoir's role was a special attacker, Gallade's role in battle is more of a physical attacker, with a 115 special defense stat backing it up. Hell, it's tied with Scrafty for having the highest base special defense stat of all non-legendary fighting type Pokemon. That's impressive. I also really like its move pool, as it has a nice variety of physical moves for Gallade to utilize, while also adding a few special status moves here and there. I also love its abilities Justified and Steadfast because it helps Gallade's role as a physical attacker. Steadfast raises Gallade's speed when it flinches in battle, and Justified raises Gallade's attack when he's hit by a Dark-type move. As for anime appearances, Gallade had a small role in the 10th movie and helped Ash and friends out a bit, and Zoe had one on her team where it kicked ass in the match against Dawn. I mean, look at this shit! That looks awesome! And that was just one example from that episode. There were plenty more I could have listed. All I will say is that if you want to see either Gallade kick ass in contest battles or want to see how flashy the anime version of the Pokemon contests are, check out A Grand Fight for Winning. I may hate the Sinnoh Saga, but that was probably the best battle Dawn was ever in. Overall, I love Gallade. I love its personality, the design, its use in battle, the appearance in the anime, its abilities, and it's just an awesome Pokemon overall. Thanks for the memories, Gallade. Before we get to number 1, however, it's time to do that follow-up to my original list. My opinions on Genesect haven't changed much since then, with the exception of the Genesect movie being released. In all honesty, I didn't care for the movie, but I still like Genesect as a Pokemon. Thoughts of version haven't changed, so let's move on. The only thing that has changed with Dragonite is that I like its Dream World ability, Multiscale, which lowers damage taken when Dragonite's at full HP. Not much has really changed for Hitmonlee, but I still like the Pokemon. Same goes for Stoutland. As for Staraptor, it got a boost in special defense when Gen 6 came out, and I like its Dream World ability Reckless, which increases the base power of moves that cause recoil/crash damage by 20%. My opinions on Sock haven't changed much, except that I enjoyed its fight with Crocodile and Leavanny in the Unova Conference, and I like its Dream World ability Mold Breaker, which ignores the effects of abilities that could weaken/negate moves that the user executes, such as being able to use Earthquake on a Pokemon that has the Levitate ability. My opinion on Luxray hasn't changed much, but it does have a neat Dream World ability, Guts, which increases Luxray's 120 base attack stat by a bit when Luxray gets hit by a status move. That's really cool. Ampharos is up next, and since that video, Ampharos got a bit of a boost in defense, and got a Mega Evolution, as well as a possible partnership with L'Oreal. Mega Ampharos becomes an electric dragon type, has Mold Breaker as its ability, gets an increase in special attack, and gets 3 weaknesses as a result. But overall, Gen 6 made me like Ampharos a lot more. Lastly, there's Togekiss. In the 6th generation, Togekiss became a Fairy Flying type, which gives it 2 immunities, 4 resistances, and gains a weakness to Poison and Steel. But overall, I still love Togekiss and will label it as one of my favorite Pokemon out there. So, what is my favorite Pokemon? Let's find out. My number 1 Pokemon is a Pokemon from Sinnoh, is a fighting type, and could be labeled overrated. But, after months of writing these entries, it's time to conclude this list. My number 1 favorite Pokemon is... Yep, Lucario. I have a lot to talk about here, so let's get started. First off, its design. I absolutely love Lucario's design. For one, it's based off of the Egyptian god of death Anubis, who judged the hearts of deceased souls based on their actions during their life, which might explain Lucario's ability to see a life form's aura. On top of that, Anubis is supposedly based off of the Grey Wolf, and as a lot of people know, I love wolves. Another reason I like this design is the colors they gave Lucario. It may be petty, but I just love the way the creators blended blue, gray, red, white, and orange into Lucario's design. It looks really great. Speaking of which, Mega Lucario's design looks really cool as well with the exception of the Giratina dreadlocks. Maybe it's just me, but the dreadlocks just don't look right. Personality-wise, Lucario is prideful, but also extremely loyal to its trainer. But, unlike Gallade, who's more of a gentleman, Lucario chooses to live in the mountains away from people in order to improve his skills. So in other words, he don't give 2 shits about the weaker Pokemon. Dick. Moving on to battle properties, Lucario is a sweeper with a 90 base speed stat and 110 base attack/115 base special attack stats. On top of that, it has a great move pool with a good variety of special/physical moves. I also like its typing of Fighting and Steel, because with this typing, it gets an immunity to Poison in Gen 6, 8 resistances, and only has 3 weaknesses. This typing helped me out a lot during my run of Black and White 2, because when I first played through the game, Alessa kicked my ass so many times I ended up losing count. After training my Riolu for a bit, it evolved into Lucario, and I went to challenge Alessa again. And to my surprise, Lucario helped me defeat Alessa. It was then that I decided to give Lucario a shot, and it was one of the best Pokemon on my team. I'm serious. With Lucario's moveset and stats, it played a huge part in defeating the gym leaders, my rivals, Team Plasma, and even the Elite Four and Champion. Though that can also be because most of Iris's Pokemon were weak to fighting, but I digress. Since then, I transferred Lucario over to X and Y, and it kicked ass in the Battle Chateau. With that out of the way, it's time to talk about abilities. With the exception of Inner Focus, I like Lucario's abilities because it helps Lucario's role as a sweeper very well. Steadfast raises Lucario's speed when it flinches in battle, and Justified raises Lucario's physical attack when he's hit by a Dark-type move. Mega Lucario's ability is okay, but I want to try and focus on Lucario itself, not its form change. Now it's time to talk about his role in Smash Bros. First off, sorry for not talking about Charizard's role in Smash Bros, but there wasn't that much to talk about. In Brawl, Lucario is a speedy fighter who attacks with his fists, but Lucario also has an interesting mechanic in how he fights. As said before, Lucario is able to see a person's aura, but Lucario is also able to use his own aura to damage opponents. The way the mechanic works is the more damage Lucario takes in battle, the stronger Lucario's attacks get, with the max being 170%. In other words, Lucario is a case of risk versus reward. You could attack normally and do some good damage to your opponent, or you could take damage and hit like a truck, but with a high risk of being knocked out of the arena. But regardless of the risk, Lucario is one of my favorite fighters in Brawl, and I don't regret using him despite the hatred he gets from the Smash community. Plus, when I send an opponent flying with either physical moves or its final smash, it puts a smile on my face. And with Lucario returning to Smash Bros, you can bet your ass I'll be using him the first chance I get. Now let's talk about his anime/manga appearances. In the manga, Harada had a Lucario and it kicked ass, and as for his other appearances in the mangas, it was alright. Now into the anime. Holy shit, he had a bunch of appearances. I liked Maylene's Lucario, it kicked ass, and I enjoyed his fight against V.II. Riley's Lucario was okay. Karina's Lucario wasn't that great, mainly because the quote-unquote arc he had got repetitive really fast. And then there was Cameron's Lucario. To be honest, this was my favorite Lucario from the anime, not counting the movie. When Lucario first appeared as a Riolu, it was very annoyed by its trainer's forgetfulness, but it was also friendly and got along with other Pokemon very well. It also took down Ash's Unfezant as a Riolu, and when it evolved, it had a really great fight with Pikachu, combined with a friggin' beam struggle between Aurasphere and Electro Ball. It was awesome! Although I should be pissed off that Lucario beat Ash's Pikachu considering Ash's performance in the Sinnoh Conference, I'm honestly more pissed off that Lucario lost to frickin' Virgil. Sorry, but I just hate that guy. But although I like Cameron's Lucario, there is one Lucario that made me put it above Gallade on this list. The Lucario in Mystery of Mew. As always, spoiler warning. In the movie, Lucario was Sir Aaron's friend who could also sense the aura, and he treated Sir Aaron with respect. During the war, Sir Aaron went to the Tree of Beginnings to try and end the war. But as he spotted Lucario nearby, he told his friend that he was not returning to the castle, which led Lucario to think that he was abandoning the kingdom. Lucario was then sealed by Sir Aaron and was stuck in suspended animation for millennia. Also, fun fact, Lucario is voiced by Sean Schemmel in this movie. Yeah, no joke. It does raise a question though. If they couldn't secure Sean Schemmel or Bill Rogers, the voice of Lucario in Brawl, who would have voiced Lucario?
I'm going to do my laundry, yes. Thank you. Could I have some change?
Nah. When Lucario was later freed by Ash, who had similar aura abilities to Sir Aaron, it was established that Lucario showed hatred towards Sir Aaron for sealing him up, and didn't understand the friendship with Ash and Pikachu. Later on in the movie, Lucario begins to slowly find out the truth and understand the friendship Ash has with his Pikachu. Near the end of the movie, the Tree of Beginnings starts to die off due to the guardian of the tree, Mew, getting sick. So Ash and Lucario combine their aura to energize the tree's defense system at the cost of their own lives. Kinda sounds a lot like Healing Wish, actually, a move that causes the user to faint but restores the new Pokemon's health. However, before Ash gives up all of his aura, Lucario pushes him out of the way and sacrifices himself to save the tree. But before he passes on, Lucario finds out the reason Sir Aaron sealed him up. Sir Aaron knew that Lucario would follow him no matter what, so to prevent Lucario from dying, he sealed his friend up and went to the Tree of Beginnings, where he sacrificed his life to energize the tree's defenses. But then there's the scene that made Lucario tear up. As Lucario begins to fade away, he tells Ash that it's alright as his friend Sir Aaron's waiting for him as he goes, turning into an orb of energy that combines with Sir Aaron's and floats up into the sky. But before the movie ends, Lucario meets Sir Aaron in the afterlife and they appear to be friends once again. I like Lucario in this movie because of his interesting personality, his bond with Sir Aaron, and the way his character arc was resolved was very heartwarming. This is one of the reasons I love this movie. But I think it's time to end this entry. Besides, I will have more to say about this movie in a future countdown. Overall, I love Lucario because of its character, design, personality, use in battle, and so much more. Some may call it overrated, and some people may not like it, which I understand. But in my personal opinion, Lucario is my favorite Pokemon of all time. I'm the Mountie Chief, and if you have a list of your favorite Pokemon, please post them in the comments below. I would love to read it. Take care.
It's time to take you down, Mountie Chief.
So, Fawn, we meet at last. I suppose there's no point in talking to you, is there?
The time for talking's over. It's time to kill you. Perry, let's go!
Oh, so you sent your Pokemon after me, eh? One teensy little problem with that. Pretty ass seal! And now, I got you.
What? Impossible! You tricked me!
Look, Fawn, This has been going on for about 2 years. All because of that electric shock incident, because you decided to go crazy with a shotgun. Can't you just let it go?
You think I could just let something like that go, Mountie? Well, think again. Now die!
My powers, they're gone!
So it looks like it worked after all. See, Fawn, in order to enter this house, you had to open the door, correct? And that's what I've been waiting on. I think as you never heard of the green candle. Well, much like how that green candle sapped the Green Ranger's energy, you lost your energy by touching that handle. See, I got an elemental candle on loan from somebody, and since you are a master of water, one of the 4 elements, all I needed to do was swap the doorknob for the candle, and bada bing bada boom, you're now powerless.
You tricked me again! I will not stand for this, Mountie! I will kill you if it's the last thing I do!
I won't kill you, Fawn. I think you know that better than anyone else. Tutcha, get her in a healing tank.
Why did you help me?
Like I said, Fawn, I won't kill you. And by the way, that candle I mentioned only temporarily saps your energy away. You'll get it back soon enough. Do what you want with your existence. I'm not going to kill you. You can continue on with this petty squabble, or you can just let it go. Choice is yours. Once you're healed up, you'll be teleported back to your house. Till then, I got other things to do, so do what you want. I don't care.
This changes nothing.